What movies have been the best in the year so far? Or if that's too early to call, then what movies have you really enjoyed? As we are at the midpoint of 2023, we've noticed that this year has been advancing at a nice pace, dropping very pleasant surprises with frequency. Now, I personally haven't seen the newer festival-winning films, that's usually closer to the end of fall, and I'm also catching up on some leftovers from last year, but so far, the movies have been following certain nice patterns. Horror has been having a good year. I think it's safe to say we passed the point of low-effort, quote-unquote, elevated horror, and have more straightforward and entertaining options. Megan was actually a decent Black Mirror type of horror sci-fi tale, about our over-reliance on technology and stays within the PG-13 realm, which makes it more approachable for newcomers to the genre. Skinamarink was an experimental lo-fi film that we've touched upon recently. Its minimalism and open-endedness play with our past childhood fears. Infinity Pool and Knock at the Cabin were polarizing, having people either love them, hate them, or just be confused by the story and themes. Renfield was a fun take on the 1930s version of Dracula in Renfield, but set in modern times, with very good practical effects and Nicolas Cage firing on all cylinders, but too wacky for most. We also had some solid sequels coming out in March with Scream 6, Creed 3, and John Wick Chapter 4. They just knew when to dig deep into what their franchises do best, when to dazzle with something new, when to rely on satisfying tropes, and most importantly, how to entertain. They certainly won't be winning any Oscars, although it's a damn shame there's none for Best Stunt Team, but they were very fun to watch in a packed theater. Above average surprises with Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves and the Super Mario Bros. Movie. They're good examples of films you can take your family to and just relax. So before summer hits and we get inundated by blockbusters or greatly anticipated films, we wanted to take a look at a few movies that caught our attention. Don't worry, we will not be going into spoilers. So in no specific order, here are 5 movies you should definitely check out.
And also, this video is kindly sponsored by Surfshark, but more on that later.
And what does he do? He puts the ball in the hands of an 18-year-old freshman. Why? Because Dean sees the same thing that I see. Greatness.
The first movie we'll be talking about is also perhaps the first biopic about an article of clothing. Air is about how Nike was trying to expand its basketball shoe market in a time when Adidas and Converse were the main big hitters. To do so, they worked towards winning over Michael Jordan and his parents, in the hopes of having him sign with Nike, knowing that he had the potential of not only being a good player in the NBA, but one of the best. Technically speaking, Air is a very solid film. It's well written, well acted, and well directed. The dialogue feels organic and natural, especially when delivered by talented actors that infuse the drama with moments of humor without making it a comedy. And when your subject matter is about the importance of a sneaker, well, you really have to be able to strike that balance. It's an interesting peek at a moment in sports history that feels like Moneyball with hints of the Last Dance documentary. I think they made the right choice of never showing Michael Jordan, because the focus is really about how the creation of this sneaker became an extension of the man's myth.
How do you know if you're doing the right thing?
I'm not sure I understand.
What do you believe is the difference between right and wrong?
It may not be based on a true story, but its content is very timely, especially due to the rapid evolution of AI technology. The Artifice Girl introduces us to a group of detectives that discovers the existence of a program whose purpose is to protect children by baiting online predators. As they work with the program's creator, they are faced with moral dilemmas stemming from the program's rapid evolution. This isn't one of those AI rising up to dominate the world type of movies. It's very subdued and contained in scope. Most of the Artifice Girl involves people just talking. There is one very small moment of action in the film's runtime, and the story takes place across a handful of sets, but I didn't feel bored at all. I was riveted from the start. The subject matter is of course interesting, not only because it involves AI, but also because it touches on certain ethical aspects about what a machine can or can't consent to. This was Franklin Rich's first feature, and considering he also wrote and starred in the film, I believe he's someone to be on the lookout for.
Before we continue, something else we are on the lookout for is having our online information remaining hidden. That's why we use a VPN like Surfshark to help us out. Not only does it give you access to streaming services that would otherwise remain geolocked in other countries, but most importantly, it protects your information by encrypting all the data you send through the internet and where you're connecting from. And adding to that peace of mind, even they don't log your information. There are a lot of VPNs out there, but we prefer using Surfshark because it's one of the fastest, well-reviewed, affordable, and offers a lot of features. Not only does it work across all platforms, but you're not limited to the number of devices you can install it on. Use Surfshark Alert, that lets you know if your information has appeared in a leaked database, or Surfshark Search to prevent ads or trackers to follow your searches. I could go on, but you should definitely check it out for yourself. Go to surfshark.deals/screened. If you use our promo code SCREENED, you will get 83% off the regular price, which means for something like a couple of bucks a month, you can be fully protected. Plus, you'll get 3 months for free. Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so if you try it and you don't like it, you can simply cancel your subscription and get your money back. Now we return to 3 other movies we've liked so far.
Open up and let us in, Cassie. We can be a big happy family again.
It's not often that a movie's teaser or trailer gives me the creeps, but the one for Evil Dead Rise did it for me. Ellie is a single mother tattoo artist, living with her 3 children in a condemned LA apartment complex. Her estranged sister Beth surprises the family with a visit. The reunion turns sour as an earthquake hits, unearthing an evil book that unleashes hell upon the already troubled family. The original Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies had gore, demonic possession, and brutality, but I feel that their scary or disturbing factor was mitigated by the slapstick and comedy. The 2013 Evil Dead was brutal, visceral, and hyper-violent, with none of its predecessors' comedy to soften the blow. This one does retain the harsh violence, and at times, hints at that dark humor from before, while maintaining an oppressive and fatalistic atmosphere. The sound design really adds to the sinister quality of the story. I think that the fact that all the main characters are related makes the threat even worse, especially when they see themselves forced to fight off a family member. So if you're looking for thrills, gore, possession scares, some body horror, a touch of cosmic horror, and underneath it all a story about motherhood, this film might be for you. The following movie on our list is a touching yet heartbreaking Belgian coming-of-age story, Close. Léo and Rémi are 2 13-year-old inseparable best friends enjoying the last days of summer. Once school starts, their friendship sparks a few questions from their classmates, which in turn makes Léo begin to distance himself from Rémi, creating tension between them. Close takes a look at social norms and societal expectations, specifically regarding teenage boys. It shows some of the damage that can arise and the freedom that is sacrificed from trying to embody what you perceive others find as normal, being beholden to labels or labeling others, and the consequences of silence. Despite their age and inexperience in film, both leads shine and give us very naturalistic and vulnerable performances. The subject matter can make the movie sad and hard to watch at times, especially for people who might have gone through something similar to what the characters go through, but it's a well-crafted film that is part of an important conversation that often needs to be had.
Football stations, drop what you're doing and stop Spider-Man.
The last movie on our list is the best animated and also the best superhero movie I've seen this year, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Roughly a year after the events of Into the Spider-Verse, there is a new villain that arises in Miles Morales' world, threatening not only his dimension, but all others. We're introduced to a group of spider people, or rather, spider beings, that are tasked with protecting the multiverse. This movie is a feast for the senses. Each universe and each Spider-Person has their own unique animation style and also their own musical genre, continuing with what the first movie did so well in regards to the score and soundtrack. The seamless blending of so many art styles is quite impressive, sometimes giving us vastly different graphics in the same frame. The attention to detail in the character design, the backgrounds, the explanation bubbles, the gags, it all makes you want to pause and rewatch to see what you missed. There are callbacks, cameos, and Easter eggs, but thankfully, they are not the main focus. What makes this movie worth watching is the fact that the characters feel fleshed out and have their own relatable journeys. Gwen, Miles, his parents, the other spider people, they don't feel like filler characters. You get to care for the person under the mask, and feel for the choices they must make while questioning what is right and what is wrong. And that's what a good superhero movie should do. So, how about you? What movie have you enjoyed watching so far? And which one are you looking forward to before the year's end? Please let us know down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Until next time.